Long time no see, everyone. It's your old mate Chicagon back at it again. This time, identifying Yohji pieces. It can be a bit of a drag, but what if I told you today how to read their tags? That was a pretty good one. As always, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comments are also very, very much appreciated. I'm melting. It's not even a hot day and I'm melting. I can't wait for summer to be over. All right, so identifying Yohji pieces. It's been something I've always been curious about, but only very recently I was speaking with a fellow Instagram pal, TheSalvagedWardrobe. You can check out their online store below. They sell a lot of really nice Yohji pieces, about identifying things, and they watched a previous video of mine about the monkey boots and mentioned that said boots were from X or Y season, and got a bit talking, and they gave me some information on how to actually identify which year and season pieces are from. And not only that, but the type of materials used, and also a bit further information that we'll be looking at today. It's become very, very bright, and you can definitely see that I'm a bit sweaty. My God, it's getting brighter. Just gonna have to work with this light, bear with me. So a lot of this information as well comes from a website called PlayfulDC, which they sell a lot of clothes secondhand online from Japan. It's a good place to look for pieces if you don't want to really troll Japanese style marketplaces and deal with language barriers or something like Bai. It's a pretty good website, and the link is down below that has all this information here as well. So where to start with this? In terms of identifying a period of time where a piece may be from, it's a good place to look at either the inner breast part, if it is a top, to see what kind of patch they have there. There's pretty much just two types of patches you will see inside. One that looks like this, and it basically just says Yohji Yamamoto, and the other one that looks like this, which also says Yohji Yamamoto. Now, the difference you'll notice is that on the first one, it is a little bit more rounded, the signature, compared to the second one. And the change in logo signifies a period of time. So anything that is before autumn winter 91 is the rounded signature logo, and anything after spring summer 92 is the more angular logo. It's a good way to get towards narrowing down exactly when your piece is from. The next thing to look at here are your sizing tags. Nowadays, you'll have numbered sizing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially beyond that. But in the past, there were S, M, and L tags, a little bit more common to what you'd see in more generic brands, or just, I guess, it's a more widespread sizing coding system than numbers. Now, if your piece has a letter for the sizing, it is most likely pre-autumn winter 99. And if it has numbered sizing, then it is post spring summer 2000. These are both great ways to narrow down even further when your piece are from. Another way that you can distinguish a period of time when a piece is from is the laundry care tags. Now, you may not be aware what all these symbols on a laundry care tag may mean. We can probably look at that in another video, but for the sake of this one, if the symbols on a laundry care tag are at the bottom of the tag, they are from pre-autumn winter 2016. And if the laundry symbols are at the top of the tag, they are from after spring summer 2017. So you might wonder why we're actually looking at these things before looking at the numbers and letter combination that make up the product code. Well, it's because, and you'll see in a moment, that some of the letters represent different seasons across different years. So it makes it a bit easier to narrow things down, knowing these different pieces here we've just discussed as to what period of time your piece is from. So now then, let's look at the product code. You will find this product code inside your piece. You'll find your laundry care tag on the inner side of the piece, usually on the right-hand side down here. And in pants, usually it's in the right-hand area as well, but sometimes it's contained within one of the pockets. I don't know how they decide whether to put it in a pocket or not. Sometimes in some t-shirts, it's in like the back hem as well, which is bizarre because it just hangs down outside the shirt and you're kind of forced to cut it unless you want to be that person who tag dags. I digress though. Let's look into these product codes. Now, looking at these product codes, you'll see a combination of letters and numbers. Usually the first two are 2 letters, the middle 3 is a letter followed by 2 numbers, and the last 3 are 3 numbers. The first letter in each product code pertains to the line that the piece is from. So looking at what the first letter can be, if it's an H, it's Yohji Yamamoto put on mainline, the men's mainline. If it's an F, it's Yohji Yamamoto, which is the femme line for women. If it is an N, it is Yohji Yamamoto noir. If it is a U, it is Yohji Yamamoto sight. If it is a G, it's Yohji Yamamoto ground Y. If it is a Y, it is Wise, which is a women's focus line. If it's an M, it's Wise for men, which, as it sounds, it is a men's focus line. If it is an L, it is Limi Fur, which is Yohji's daughter, who makes mainly clothes for women. Actually, a lot of really cool pieces at very, very affordable prices secondhand as well, if you're looking into that. And there are some other codes that I have seen. I think K is for kiddies, which was only a once-off line, and perhaps you might see some other things in your travels, but these ones I've mentioned here are the ones you will see the most. So with that, we've identified the line that it's from, and now we look to the second letter in the code, and this is for the season that the item is from. Now I'm putting up on the screen a picture from the PlayfulDC guide here, which has all the seasons as well as the letters associated to each season. You may note that there are some letters that are across different seasons from different periods of time. For example, the letter C, which is not just spring summer 99, but it's also autumn winter 2010 and autumn winter 2019. That's where what we spoke about earlier comes into play, where you're looking at the logo on the inside breast pocket, or the care tags, or the sizing tags as well. This hopefully helps narrow things down for you if you're unsure of which period of time your piece is from, because the second letter is repeated across different seasons in different time periods. So with that, we've identified the line that the piece is from and also the season which the piece is from. So what's next? The middle three letters and numbers. Let's move to those. So the first letter in the middle three represents the type of clothing or piece that the item may be. For example, you've got things like J for jacket, C for coat, B for blouse or shirt, S for skirt, P for pants or trousers, T for top, and K for knit. These can all be pretty straightforward when you're just looking at the piece itself, but it's still nice to know that these letters do represent a specific thing for each piece that you have. So with that comes the end of the information that's off the PlayfulDC guide. The rest is from talking to Salvaged Wardrobe and discussing what the rest of the things mean. And as you will see, they are not on the PlayfulDC website, at least in the guide that I've referenced here. Okay, so the last two numbers of the middle three section, what do they mean? They're representative of the type of piece that the item is. So say it is a top, then the last two numbers are the shape and cut of the top. It's something that I'm not sure exactly what each one refers to, but if you do see these things repeated, you can be pretty confident that it's going to be the same cut of clothing. The only difference might be the material, which leads to the last three numbers. So the last three numbers, for the longest time, I thought they were just a bit random. The sun has just returned. Thank you so much. And over time, looking at so many pieces and also putting things on the store to sell, I've noticed that a lot of these numbers do repeat. And it turns out that these are the material that the item is made from. Now, I'm not sure exactly if they represent blends or if an item has two different materials, whether it has its own unique code. But I can tell you that if you find two pieces with the same one, they are from the same material. And that is pretty helpful to know if you find out that some types of wool are just not good on your skin. I'm really, really bad with that. And other types are. So I can be confident that if I find a piece with those three numbers at the end that are akin to something that I have that is okay on my skin, that is most likely going to be okay on my skin as well. As far as I know, there's not a database for this. I might try and create a Google Doc or spreadsheet if you're interested, where I can just upload all the things that I have so far and the materials they are. But it can get a little bit confusing because there's so many different types of cotton and I don't really know how to define something as, you know, being comfortable or tough. I don't really know how to get into the intricacies of it. So it might be a bit difficult to then build a database, which I don't know how to actually sort. Moving on from that though, the middle three and the last three I have noticed very, very recently because I found this pair of sight balloon pants. They're very, very wide and they have like a part in the center that has a seam where extra fabric is behind it, so they do balloon out quite wide. And I found many pieces of them that people are interested in, but it was always the same 3 letters in the middle, but the end would change. And that really did help with like, oh, these ones are cotton, these ones are just polyester, these are a poly rayon blend. So it's been very interesting seeing that in action, that they are actually the same pair of pants in terms of cut and shape. It's just a different type of material. Now, I wanted to make a note on sight pieces. I have looked through the pieces that I have from Yohji Yamamoto site, and I can't quite link them up to the seasons that are based on the information we've had so far. The PlayfulDC guide does not list site on there, and perhaps it is because site follows its own seasonal structure, and maybe because site is online, they do not actually have shows or things like that. They may have their own set releases and identification numbers, but I can say that the middle 3 numbers for the cut and the type of piece that it is, and the last 3 numbers that are for the material are cohesive to the rest of it. It's just the second letter, the season part, that is not the same compared to everything else. Just wanted to make that clear in case anybody does look for their site pieces and thinks, oh, this doesn't actually match any of the letters here for any season. Just be aware that I think that there's something completely different. So with that, that's all the information I have and I'm able to share with you all about how to identify your pieces, when they're from, what line, what season, what cut, what shape, and what material. And if that's all you came to see, then excellent. But I figured it'd be kind of nice to go through a few pieces and use what we've just learned and put it in action and see how we go. So let's look at a first piece to identify here. We've got this pair of ground Y wide pants. And we've got the tag here that says they are wool and polyester. And then back here we have the product code, which is GD-P14100. So the G is for ground Y. The D, so D seemingly corresponds to spring summer 2017. The P is for pants. The 14 is for this specific cut of a wide pant. And then the 100 corresponds to the polyester and wool blend that the material of the pants is in. So it's handy to know. It's from 2017. Okay, next up, this one will be a bit interesting and you'll see why in a moment. Here's a pair of pour homme wide pants, but let's look at this tag. So we can see that we have a letter for the sizing here. So that tells us that it's before autumn winter 99. And then we've also can see that on the laundry tag, the symbols are at the bottom. And what does that mean? It means that it's also before 2016. So I guess the sizing part is a bit more direct, but we do know that it's at least before 2016 and before 99. So let's look at this product code here. We've got HO-P12129, and they are 100% wool. So H, pour homme, mainline men's. Now the O. Let's look at the table here. We can see various O's. There's spring summer 2016, there's spring summer 2011, and there's also spring summer 93. So thinking about when this piece is from, we know that it's pre-2016 because of the care tags. We know that it's pre-99 because of the sizing tags. So it would be that these are actually from 1993. Well, that's really cool. These pants are almost as old as I am. Wow, okay. That's awesome. Anyway, moving on. So then we've got the P section, their pants. The 1-2 is the cut. And then the 129 is the type of wool fabric. Now, as I've mentioned many a time, I'm very, very bad with wool on my skin. These feel amazing on my skin. They're not even lined and they feel great. So it would be wise to note down for myself that anything with 129 wool is gonna be okay on my skin. Okay. Wow, 93. They're so wide. It's interesting as well that these are P12 and these are P14. They're very, very close in terms of like the cut size. I wonder if there's, more intricacy there. It'd be cool to find that out. Okay, so the monkey boots. Let's look at the product code. Now, this is something that in the monkey boots video, we did see that the middle three were always the same 3 letters and numbers there, which figured out that that's just this silhouette of shoe. But now that we have this extra information, so we've got HK E54 765. So H, put on, mainline men's. The K though, what year is the K? Look at the chart and we can see that it's autumn winter 2017. And then the last 3 would be the type of leather that is used in these shoes themselves. Now, the autumn winter 21 combo boots. Now, I know these autumn winter 21 because it was in the listing and I have seen them online, but let's try reading the product code to confirm that. I still need to make a video on these boots. I love them so much. So we've got HXE06732. So H, pour homme, men's mainline. X is, you guessed it, autumn winter 21. So they weren't lying to me, which I guess is a good thing. All right, finally, let's look at this black scandal top. So we can see that the tag here says HV B48805. H again is pour homme, men's mainline. B is a blouse. It is a shirt. But the second letter, the V, where is the V from? Looking at the chart here, it is from autumn winter 2018. So that's pretty neat. This piece though is a mix of cotton and also tencel. So the 805 at the end, I'm not sure whether that means that the piece will be both of those types of material or whether it'll be the primary material, which is the front part, which is the cotton. So I'm not too sure about that. That's why a database building would be kind of interesting to do, but just keep that in mind. No, I said finally, but we've mainly just been doing put on pieces. So let's do something that's not put on. And it is this femme staff shirt. So we can see here the tag is NHB29001. So N we have as Yohji Yamamoto Noir. And then the H, where is the H from? Looking at this here, we can see that it is from spring, summer 2019. So effectively when the actual item was from, which as you can see here, 2019. So the B29, B, a blouse, the 29 would be this very, very long shape. So what do you think? I hope it's been helpful. I've found it really, really helpful for me especially. And being able to identify pieces not only helps me find out when things are from, but more importantly, you can find out if things are fake because there are fakes out there. And a lot of the time, the tags are just completely wrong or for completely different pieces. You might have something for a top that says P on it and it's like, well, that should be a pair of pants then. It doesn't make sense. So it's good to be a little bit aware and save these things. Look at the Playful website. Visit the Salvaged Wardrobe for some pieces if you're interested. And yeah, thanks to those who did help me out with this. I hope you found it informative as much as I have as well. Any questions, let me know. And if you want to build a database together, I guess come into the Discord, we can talk about it because it would be nice to have a place where we can go find out more specific things about pieces, materials, cuts, shapes, and sizes, because there's a lot to go through and it's all quite exciting and fun to learn about it all together. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Take care of yourselves, have fun, be safe, and as always, don't do anything I do except have a look at this video and the website and get to know where your pieces are from and what year they are and what materials they are. Could be useful in future should you want something similar, but of a different material, maybe a different cut as well. You'll take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.